Welcome to the National Hispanic Media Coalition's Virtual Impact Awards, honoring game changers. We would like to thank T-Mobile, Univision, NBC Universal Telemundo, Google, the National Association of Broadcasters, and Union Bank for making this event possible. Our host today was born in Medellin, Colombia, and got her start in the entertainment industry at just 5 years old. She is an award-winning actor and one of the stars of the critically acclaimed series, One Day at a Time. Friends and colleagues, our host for this evening, Miss Isabella Gomez.
Welcome to the 2020 Impact Award Series. It is my honor to be your host this evening. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I never even thought that I would be the host of an award show, but I also thought that if I was gonna do it, it wouldn't be to a room with masked people. I am wearing heels though, and I really think that everybody should take that into account because I haven't worn these since March, but I didn't get my nails done. It's fine. Anyway, what I really wanted to say was that I'm so excited to be here because, as we know, the country is incredibly divided right now, but this night is all about celebrating each other and coming together, and that is the only way we're gonna get through tough times is by joining forces and walking the walk and making sure that we're celebrating our game changers and celebrating each other. So let's get this night started. I'm so thrilled to be here, and it is now my pleasure to introduce Brenda Victoria Castillo, President and CEO of the National Hispanic Media Coalition. Brenda has a long history with NHMC. She began as a volunteer in the early 80s and is now NHMC's first female president and CEO. So without further ado, Brenda Castillo.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Impact Award Series honoring game changers. I'm Brenda Victoria Castillo, President and CEO of the National Hispanic Media Coalition. We start off our program with acknowledging the land for which this NHMC Impact Award Series is airing from, Tongva land. And today is the start of Native American Heritage Month in the United States. May we all remember those that make up the true history of this land. In these challenging times, where we are bearing witness of inequality and social injustice, where white supremacists have been given the green light, the need for the National Hispanic Media Coalition's work to eliminate hate, discrimination, and racism towards Latinos has escalated. One human being or marginalized group that is a victim of hate or discrimination is everyone's struggle. So that is why I acknowledge our partners, Univision, T-Mobile, the Walt Disney Company, NBC Universal Telemundo, Google, Union Bank, National Association of Broadcasters, and Viacom CBS. Thank you for your support. From our policy work in Washington, D.C. to our media advocacy in Hollywood, where we collaborate, create, connect Latinx talent with the entertainment industry. Representation does matter, and that is why we focus on all forms of media, because it is the most influential and powerful institutions that exist. NHMC believes in uplifting Latino and non-Latino voices that are helping to change the narrative that is beneficial to society as a whole. And that is what this Impact Award Series is all about, recognizing game changers. Congratulations to all our honorees, and thank you, our viewers, for joining us and doing your part in being advocates for change.
Congratulations to Brenda and the entire staff at NHMC for all their hard work in organizing and presenting programs for writers and Latinx creators during these challenging times. That is just a few of the reasons why it is important to support the National Hispanic Media Coalition. We need their advocacy work. So friends, please, please, please log onto their website, nhmc.org, and make a donation. Our first Impact Award this evening is being presented to a father and son duo for their efforts in the area of social justice. Since the devastation of Hurricane Maria on the island of Puerto Rico, they have tirelessly supported its recovery and continue to keep our fellow citizens of the United States' needs in the forefront of our consciousness. It is an honor to introduce Luis A. Miranda Jr., founding partner of the Miranda Group, a government affairs consulting firm in New York City. Mr. Miranda is also the founding president of the Hispanic Federation and is the subject of the recently released HBO documentary, Siempre Luis. And his son, You may have heard of him. The Pulitzer Prize, Grammy, Emmy, and Tony Award-winning composer, lyricist, actor, and just overall coolest person ever, Lin-Manuel Miranda.
So you had a heart attack, and that was a year ago.
Right. How are you, Dad? How's your health?
Probably busier than I was before the heart attack.
You have been going non-stop for so long, Louis.
That's pretty Luis Miranda. His relentlessness to keep going. And that's what I keyed in on. When I was playing Hamilton, I was just playing my father. He's just relentless.
I am from Puerto Rico, a little town called Vega Alta.
All of us who come from Puerto Rico share an experience trying to do better in this other place.
Not everyone wanted us here. I saw that as an opportunity to reach out to other Latinos, to open government to them.
Vote Letitia James for Attorney General.
No kisses.
Hurricane Maria, the strongest hurricane in history to make landfall.
For me, Puerto Rico is this perfect place that all of a sudden doesn't exist anymore. I immediately saw it as a responsibility to rebuild the island.
I tell him, I don't want to be a widow. There isn't another you to replace you.
Doing everything we can becomes the job.
Together, we cannot be stopped.
I was hoping that at my age and by now, we would have won these battles. That we would be on TV, movies, theater, without any struggle. It would happen organically. Unfortunately, that's not where we are.
But we continue to fight for our stories. Representation matters so much, so we fight for the stories we want to see. When One Day at a Time gets canceled, we fight for it till they put it somewhere else. And we have to continue to stand up for our stories so that the next time you see Latinos on TV and in the movies, it's not the exception, it's the rule.
And important, that's why the National Hispanic Media Coalition exists, to continue to fight for our proper place in society and in this industry.
Thank you so much for this award. We're honored.
NHMC is so proud to acknowledge the Mirandas for being game changers in our community, and that they are. And now, a message from T-Mobile, a hero of change supporting NHMC's advocacy efforts.
Hello, I'm Kathleen O'Brien Ham, Senior Vice President, Government Affairs for T-Mobile. Thank you for the opportunity to share a few thoughts on this year's Virtual Impact Awards honoring game changers. T-Mobile is proud to support the National Hispanic Media Coalition's ongoing work to close the digital divide in the communities we're honored to serve. The coalition's dedication to uplifting Latinx voices that are changing our industry and, most importantly, our society is invaluable. For over 35 years, NHMC has had unwavering commitment to uplifting underserved Americans and holding platforms and people accountable for their actions in our digital world. At T-Mobile, we know that change starts at home, and we're also holding ourselves accountable. We've committed $25 million to diversity initiatives, including investments in underrepresented communities to support tech entrepreneurship, bridge the gap in digital literacy, job training, and access to the digital economy. These commitments that we've made to ourselves, our employees, our customers, and to all of our partners, including Brenda Castillo and NHMC, are not just words. We're here because we're ready to do the work. So thank you. I'm looking forward to our continued work together. Congratulations to all of the award recipients.
Thank you, T-Mobile, our hero of change. Our next honoree, who was elected by the people as the first woman into the position and the first of two Latinas to represent Texas in Congress. Over the years, she has consistently fought for the people of El Paso and continues to do so at the congressional level. Tonight, we acknowledge her push for gun reform as the nation still feels the effect of the El Paso massacre, her fight against the hate rhetoric of immigrant border communities, and most recently, holding Hollywood accountable to accurate and fair representation of Latinx people on screen and in Congress. This award goes to a woman truly changing the game, Congresswoman Veronica Escobar.
That's right, Isabella. It is my pleasure to have this discussion with our next honoree, Congresswoman Escobar.
Hi, Brenda. It's wonderful to be with you.
We have a major problem with domestic terrorism in this country. Hate from white supremacists is growing, and there are daily harassment and threat to lives every day. Through our policy work in Washington, D.C., the National Hispanic Media Coalition has been working towards eliminating online hate. We feel hate speech can lead to hate actions. Thus, 1 year ago, this past August, a white supremacist traveled more than 600 miles, walked into a Walmart in El Paso, Texas, and killed 23 people and injured 23 others. This shooting has been described as the deadliest anti-Latino attack in recent US history. On the murderer's online manifesto, he stated that he used the words such Hispanic invasion, cultural and ethnic replacement. Obviously, these words are hateful, which led to his hate action of mass murder. Congresswoman Escobar, El Paso is your hometown. Can you take us back to August 3rd, 2019?
I can, because unfortunately it's a day that none of us will ever forget. And I first, before I begin, I want to thank the coalition for your work, for the efforts that you make to shine a light on what's happening in our country and to challenge the notions and the language and the behavior that gives rise to this kind of horrific violence, this kind of targeted attack, the kind of attack that completely devastated us. And yeah, on that day, I will tell you, it started out like any other day for my office and me. We were having a town hall meeting. It was wonderful. We were having an important debate. Ironically, Brenda, we were talking about gun violence prevention legislation. I mean, it was sort of an ominous conversation. There was a foreboding that I didn't realize until one of my staff members walked up to me, pulled the microphone from my hand, and she said, "There's been a shooting." Our law enforcement, who had been there to protect our constituents, because I had had death threats against me, and we were worried about our constituents, she said, "The law enforcement folks, the constables, need to get to the scene." And so, as we let people go, I will tell you, in my heart, I kept hoping and praying, well, okay, if there was a gunman, maybe he just walked into a store, he walked into wherever and was, apprehended, and maybe nobody's hurt. God forbid there are any injuries. And just as the morning proceeded, and as I started getting information, it was clear that not only were there deaths, but that it was, an incredibly horrific and violent scene. And then when we learned that there was that he used an AK-47, the information that kept coming to us for the rest of the day just became more and more tragic and horrific.
My family's from Juarez, Chihuahua.
Oh.
And I'm born and raised in Boyle Heights, East LA, but at one point I lived in El Paso and I actually graduated from El Paso High.
Oh my gosh, that's my kid's alma mater.
Go Tigers.
That's right.
It was devastating to hear what had occurred. And I have to tell you, I continue to feel that Latinos are under attack.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since the president in 2016 called Mexicans criminals and rapists, he has dehumanized us. And
That's
the way we're perceived is how we're treated. And that's why you see our brown children and people, marginalized communities, immigrants in cages right now. The children have been separated from their parents. Some are being drugged. Some have been sexually abused. And now we found out recently that some of the women have been sterilized. And this is happening in the United States of America in 2020. And us, the taxpayers, are paying for that horrific way we are treating human beings.
That's right. That's right, Brenda. You know, the word dehumanizing is precisely the accurate word. When the president strips immigrants of their humanity, when the president strips minorities of their humanity, that's what made it easy for that domestic terrorist to walk into that Walmart that day with an AK-47. And, you know, I've unfortunately been told graphic details about that day. And I say unfortunate because, you know, I mean, I was very lucky that I wasn't there, but you can never unsee those images once those images have been painted in your mind. And so, you know, I think about what must have been in his heart to be able to do what he did. Children, elderly citizens, couples, a baby. When you think about the inhumanity of it, that we aren't being seen as human beings worthy of dignity, worthy of grace, and the president behaves that way himself. And you know, I brought almost 20% of Congress to El Paso last year at the height of the humanitarian crisis, months before the shooting in El Paso, because I wanted them to see what was being done in our name. I wanted them to bear witness to families sleeping outside behind chain link fencing in 100-degree heat, sleeping on rocks. And also in the cold elements as well. As ICE was releasing families into the street, I wanted legislators to see what was happening. But, you know, it does take, as you pointed out so perfectly, when you're hearing it from the highest leader of the land, when you have a white nationalist who is driving immigration policy, which is what we have in Stephen Miller, and when you have a president who openly not just fuels racism, but is racist in his beliefs and in his speech, we should not be shocked when over the course of his tenure in office, hate crimes have risen exponentially, and that we have had to live through the trauma that we've lived through. And so, you know, I've been asked over and over again, you know, what do we do? I mean, obviously, number one, elections matter. But also you have to call out hate speech. You have to call out racism. You have to confront it. And that's why I'm so grateful to the coalition for what you're doing, and why it's incumbent on each and every one of us, whether you're a member of Congress or whether you're a regular citizen, to ensure that you call it out when you see it and you hear it. Hi, I'm Congresswoman Veronica Escobar, coming to you from the beautiful, safe, and secure U.S.-Mexico border community of El Paso, Texas. I want to thank the National Hispanic Media Coalition for the incredible honor that you've given me of recognizing my voice by awarding me your 2020 Impact Award. It is an incredible honor, and I want to thank you for it. I also want to recognize the incredible work that you all do to combat hate and to make sure that there is a fair and accurate representation of Latinos in the entertainment industry. We know that hate and that racism have been particularly painful over these last 4 years, as they have been given fuel and power by our highest elected leader in the land, by our president, who has used terms to denigrate and dehumanize us. And so we have in so many ways moved backward in our effort to demand that greater representation and the more just portrayal of who we are. And we have a lot of work to do, but your advocacy, your voice, your work is incredible, and it's so badly needed now more than ever, and in the years to come as we repair the damage that has been done. Thank you again for this incredible recognition. I look forward to working together, being in la lucha together until we achieve our vision and our goal for our community. Thank you again for the award and for your work.
Congratulations, Congresswoman Escobar. Thank you for being a voice for the Latinx community where important political decisions that affect Americans are being made. All right, I'm gonna hit you with some big old words and fancy stuff, but please remember that the National Hispanic Media Coalition is a 35-year-old nonprofit 501c3 civil rights organization. It was founded to eliminate hate, discrimination, and racism towards the Latinx community. They educate and increase visibility of Latinx from Washington, D.C. to Hollywood and all around the world. NHMC pushes boundaries to encourage the entertainment and news industry to reflect the diversity of America behind and in front of the camera. They rely on the support of the community leaders like you. So please visit their website, nhmc.org, and make a donation. The National Hispanic Media Coalition would like to extend their appreciation to NBC Universal Telemundo for being a maker of change and supporting their advocacy efforts.
I'm Jandiz Estrada Cardoso, the Senior Director of Talent Development and Inclusion at NBC Universal. At NBC Universal Telemundo, we cannot be more thrilled to support the National Hispanic Media Coalition in honoring game changers during these virtual Impact Awards. To meet our commitment for authentic representation in front of and behind the camera, we rely on NHMC as a partner and as a leader in the entertainment landscape. So muchas gracias for all that you do for us and the community, and to the honorees, you deserve this platform and recognition. You are the true keys to change. So felicidades y salud.
Our next game changer was born in Manhattan and raised in the Bronx with her close-knit Cuban family. Her amazing record of nearly 3 decades in the entertainment industry has been recognized by numerous organizations. An acting career that includes roles in blockbuster movies to hit television shows, we are pleased to recognize actress Gina Torres.
Thank you. Thank you, National Hispanic Media Coalition, for this beautiful, beautiful honor of the Impact Award. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the word impact scares me a little bit because I think of meteors and I think of complete and total destruction of all things that are familiar. And I think of things that touch you on such a deeply soulful level that you question. You question your existence. You question old tropes. And as I think about it, it does make sense. Because all of those things have happened to me during my 30 plus tenure in this industry. I grew up in the Bronx, the daughter of proud Cuban immigrants, and I consumed a lot of television. I did. I consumed television and movies and hours and hours and hours. I mean, this became my world in a really beautiful way because that's where I began to dream. That's where I began to dream my biggest dreams of being a part of that beautiful Technicolor space. And it didn't matter to me. It didn't even occur to me that I didn't see myself physically represented because I found myself in those worlds. I found myself in those characters. I found my family in those situations. And as I dreamt of a life, it didn't once occur to me that that world wouldn't welcome me with open arms. I got that part wrong. And so, in the process of getting hit by that and very similar meteors along the way, I learned 3 very important things. The first was there is no shame in getting paid. You do what you got to do to make your dream come true. The second is that sometimes you can make an impact just by showing up. Just by being true to who you are and taking up that space. And the third one that I'm still working on is really and truly the greatest impact any one of us can make, is when you show up for other people. Because we're not in this alone. When you bring all that you are, all you've come to be, with the people that brought you along, whose shoulders you stand on, and a clear vision for the future, and you bring all of that to the table, to the service of others, that's where true impact starts to change the world. So, thank you for this award. Thank you for the reminder that I gotta keep showing up. And that is absolutely my intention, to keep showing up for you and anyone who is within earshot of my voice and my work. Besos, abrazos y muchísimas gracias por este honor.
Thank you, Gina, for sharing those authentic and impactful words with us, both as the characters you play and as your incredible self. As challenging as this year has been, we can say that twice or 3 times, NHMC continues to produce programs that support Latinx creators in the constantly changing entertainment industry. Here is a quick look at their 2020 accomplishments.
Hello, my name is Felicia Mora, and I am the Special Events and Programs Manager. And I am Araceli Velasco, Chief of Staff at the National Hispanic Media Coalition. Once again, thank you all for being tuned in to our Virtual Impact Awards, wherever you're watching. We are so happy and appreciative to have you with us. As you have already heard, NHMC is a social justice organization that was founded to eliminate hate, discrimination, and racism towards the Latinx community.
For those of you who are just discovering our work, NHMC has multiple initiatives, such as the series Scriptwriters Program, which trains Latinos and other POC writers in how to succeed in the industry, and our Latinx Dream Showcase, which brings Latinx writers, actors, and directors to perform for Hollywood's decision makers. These long-standing programs are just the beginning.
A crucial part of the work we do is in telecommunications policy. NHMC has been a fierce advocate for net neutrality in order to make sure that everyone has access to an open and free internet, of programs like Lifeline, which ensures that BIPOC, seniors, and low-income families in rural areas stay connected, and overall fighting for the Latinx community and other people of color in the United States political system.
We don't need to remind you how difficult 2020 has been so far. It is in times like these that we find it in ourselves to be the change makers that our communities need.
NHMC will continue to push for authentic storytelling, platform accountability, digital equity for Latinx, and so much more for as long as we need to.
Hola, my name is Leslie Valdez. I am the co-creator, executive producer, and head writer of the new Nick series, Santiago of the Seas. 12 years ago, I came to Los Angeles looking to break into the industry as a writer, and for several years I was writing script after script, feeling like I was just typing into the void. I got into the NHMC Writing Fellowship, and suddenly I found myself surrounded by 9 other wildly creative, incredibly charismatic, and amazing fellow Latino writers, and I felt so validated and so welcome and so supported. The value of that fellowship has stayed with me, and the 5 weeks I spent working on my writing, refining my voice, and cranking out a pilot script were crucial in opening doors for me in the industry. 12 years later, I've got my own show on Nick Jr., and many of my fellow writers also have shows that they have created or are show running or writing for, and it's so amazing. I couldn't be more proud of the work that NHMC has done and of all the work that my writing fellows have done. So to NHMC, I say muchísimas gracias. si se puede, and onward and upward.
Representation matters, and you know, when a community sees themselves up on that screen represented fully and truthfully, then you know it just gives them permission to dream and to feel like they belong. So I think that's why these awards are super important.
We can write a new mandate for Latinos in this industry. A mandate that says we will lift each other up and we will lift each other through new doors, that we will celebrate each other's successes, that we will shower each other with praise, and that we will love each other to the top, which is where we belong.
Considering the political climate that we find ourselves in right now, it's necessary and incumbent upon all of us to do what we can to sort of counterbalance the things that are out there in the media. So it is something very important, and I feel like it's to some extent like my duty to be here. You know what I mean?
What is decided in Washington, D.C. affects Hollywood, and how people are portrayed in media is how we are treated.
I think it's really beautiful how so many people can come together for a cause like this. Keep this momentum going, you know, like keep that power, keep yelling, keep having your voices heard, because it's making so much change.
It's pretty incredible that NHMC has been doing all of this despite the chaos of this year, and what an exciting year so far it's been for them. I personally can't wait to see what NHMC has planned for 2021. Our next game changer is proud of his Panamanian descent. So much so that he has persuaded producers to re-examine the background of the characters that they have made and he has portrayed. Featured in HBO's Insecure, Freeform's Good Trouble, which I love, and BET's Games People Play. Tonight, NHMC is honored to recognize Sarunas Jackson for his outstanding work as an actor.
Hello, I'm Sean J. Jackson, and I would like to thank the NHMC for considering me for the Impact Award. This is the first time I am being honored with such an award from my fellow Latinos, and I love what's going on right now. As an Afro-Latino man, as a Panameño man, I'm very honored to be in this position and for people to look to me as someone who has an impact on a culture. I just want everybody to remember that Latinx people, we don't just have one look. We come all different shades, different backgrounds, descendants of different people. And I love that we're celebrating each other, and we should continue that. So again, I'd like to thank the NHMC for considering me for this Impact Award.
Congratulations, Saruna, and thank you for inspiring and educating our community through media. And now, a message from longtime NHMC supporter, a leader of change, Mr. Ron Estrada, Senior Vice President and Head of Government Relations for Univision Communications, Inc.
Buenas noches. Good evening. My name is Ron Estrada. I am the Senior Vice President and Head of Government Relations and Corporate Social Responsibility for Univision Communications based in Washington, D.C. And on behalf of Univision, we are honored to call NHMC a partner. Partner. That term seems to take on a much deeper meaning these days, huh? With the census campaign, racial inequities and social injustices, COVID-19, and of course, the upcoming election in just a few days. Our partnership with the National Hispanic Media Coalition remains at the core of Univision's commitment to the U.S. Latino community. As you know, NHMC is a 501c3 civil rights nonprofit organization founded to eliminate hate, discrimination, and racism towards the Latinx community. Whether through programs such as the diversification of news and entertainment or amplifying voices in our community, Univision can always count on NHMC to walk side by side on these critical issues with us that impact our community and this great nation of ours. So once again, Thank you, NHMC. Thank you, Brenda, Board of Directors, and staff for all you do. We look forward to working together with you in 2021. Gracias.
Our next game changer has collaborated with the National Hispanic Media Coalition. Together, they fought battles side by side, standing up for the LGBTQ+ and POC communities. Let's listen to Brenda's conversation with Rashad Robinson from Color of Change.
At the National Hispanic Media Coalition, we believe in partnerships and building coalitions because in order to make real change, we need to work together. Rashad Robinson, President, Color of Change, you are certainly one of those partners.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so good to be with you.
I want to take us back to 2012 when you were with GLAAD, and both GLAAD and NHMC partnered together for both the LGBTQ+ and Latinx communities. Tell our viewers about our work in regards to the Jose Luis Sin Censura show.
Well, that work actually started years before that even. It was something that our Spanish language media team and the National Hispanic Media Coalition, over the years, GLAAD and NHMC even had staff that went back and forth between the organizations and really worked to collaborate. And what I really appreciated in that moment from the very beginning of working with NHMC is that not only do they understand the power of collaborations, but the power of intersectionality, the power and recognition that this show was harming and representing the Hispanic and Latino communities in ways that was problematic. And also, it wasn't that it was just hurting LGBT people or targeting LGBT people, but the organization recognized that those LGBT people were Hispanic and Latinx, that they were part of the community. And so being able to partner actually was a really big step for GLAAD too. It was one of the sort of benchmarks that I continued to use during my time about how the organization needed to continue to reach out at an intersectional level. We were also successful. We were successful at getting the type of concessions and change necessary. And so, you know, when I got to Color of Change and I found out that the organization was already on net neutrality working, with NHMC, I was happy, I was excited, but I was like, oh, I know them. And I know that they know how to do good work. I know that they know how to partner. And I'm looking forward to things that we can continue to do together.
Yes, this horrible show was anti-gay, anti-transgender, anti-Latino, anti-female, disabled. I mean, they made fun of disabled people. Females were shown in violent fights, you know, as a part of
getting beat up on the show. It was like, it made Jerry Springer look like light, wholesome TV at times.
Exactly. And we both claimed victory, GLAAD and NHMC. The show was permanently removed, and Lieberman was hit with an historic FCC fine.
It was just an important win of using both the power of outside corporate pressure while also recognizing the role of government intervention with the FCC. And so it was operating on both levels. In some ways, NHMC really helped GLAAD through the FCC process, where the organization had a lot more experience and a lot more power in dealing with that institution.
Well, this horrible, hateful language used on the show created prejudice. And as we both agree, hateful language can lead to hate actions. In fact, we are both now, NHMC and Color of Change, working as partners once again, along with ADL, NAACP, LULAC, Free Press, Mozilla, Common Sense, and Sleeping Giants in the Stop Hate for Profit campaign.
It's such an important campaign, and being able to have all of our organizations combine our power, our reach, our competency and understanding of how this sort of radicalization, how the hate language, how the targeting of our communities in different ways is all connected, but also bringing our unique understandings to the table is really important. And more than anything, we've been able to raise attention and heat on the largest communications platform the world has ever seen, and being able to force them to the table to make changes. We've been able to do that while also, I think, helping, whether it's the FCC, whether it's those in Congress, recognize that new rules of the road are needed. So we haven't claimed victory here yet, and I think the road will be long, But facing down such a powerful force does require partnerships. No individual organization can do it alone, and no individual community is going to be able to win this thing on its own. So I'm really excited about continuing to partner with you all. Thank you to the National Hispanic Media Coalition for this incredible award. To be given an award called the Impact Award from an organization that has spurred so much impact is an honor. I've worked with the National Hispanic Media Coalition for a number of years now, from my time at GLAAD, where we faced down media tropes and harmful TV shows, to my time now working to fight for net neutrality and open internet, and of course, the most recent work on Stop Hate for Profit. The work that we do together to not only advance the stories that shape our lives, but to ensure that the infrastructure includes our voice and doesn't target us is so clear. The work that the National Hispanic Media Coalition has done for years has been pioneering and so incredibly important to creating a more human and just world for all of us. At Color of Change, we are working as well to do just that, to spur the stories and create the narratives that will build a more just world for all of us, while also fighting for the policies and the changes to our media landscape that will ensure a more diverse country includes all of our voices. Together, I believe that we can win. Together, I believe that we can shape the stories that build more justice, more empathy, and more freedom for all of us. And it's gonna take all of us working together, building together, and winning together. That is how we make justice real, and that is how we make our freedom, our liberation, and our onward progress more of a reality. Congratulations on this gala, and thank you for this recognition. I cherish it, and I cherish all of you.
This game changer is known for speaking out about issues that matter to our community and pushing for Latinos to work together. With almost 4 decades in the entertainment industry, and she does not look it, she has brought to life many stories that represent our community in a positive light. Our friend, which I'm so excited I get to say that, and colleague, Miss Lisa Vidal.
Hi everybody, my name is Lisa Vidal. I'm an actress and a performer. I wanted to take a moment to say a huge thank you to Brenda Castillo and everyone at NHMC, National Hispanic Media Coalition, for presenting me with this incredible award, the Impact Award. I am truly honored. It is so wonderful to be acknowledged, to be thanked, and to be celebrated for all my years of acting, 41 to be exact, and most of those years trying to fight against stereotypes that Hollywood has tried to put on Latinos, being a voice for Latinos, a voice for diversity, social justice, and just representing my people. I'm truly grateful. It truly is an honor when someone recognizes this and says thank you. So thank you. And I wanted to take a minute to also say thank you to NHMC for all the work you guys do. Thank you for never backing down. Thank you for taking a stand on behalf of all Latinos, especially in Hollywood, social justice, social media. I know it's not easy, and you guys do a great job, and we all are for you and support you and are so grateful to you. Thank you for throwing an award show every year to honor us. It is truly just a beautiful thing, and I love being a part of it. I love when I get to MC for you guys. It is so much fun. It's always a great time seeing all my friends and seeing all you guys. So thank you so much again. It means a lot to me, and I take it to heart. So, and I can't wait till the next party. I'm ready. I got a dress. Adios. God bless.
NHMC is so proud to recognize Lisa Vidal as a genuine game changer. And before we recognize our last game changer, I just want to, one more time, say thank you so much for giving me a chance to have a reason to get put together None of you are here, but I would hope that you'd be giggling at that. Okay, it's been an honor. It's been an honor to serve as your host, introducing those who embrace their role as community leaders and encouraging others to change the game. Last but absolutely not least, the National Hispanic Media Coalition is so honored to recognize a community servant who is a devoted advocate for Black, Indigenous, and people of color, including Latinx and immigrants. He has remained loyal to many issues that affect our community, like reformation for undocumented people, assistance for Puerto Rico, net neutrality, and unions that help protect Latinx workers on the ground level. United States Senator Bernie Sanders is a game changer.
Thank you very much to the National Hispanic Media Coalition for the great and important work you do, especially in moments like this. What your organization is about is combating all forms of bigotry in this country. And that is something that together we have got to do. It is no great secret to any of you that bigotry has been alive and well in this country from its very formation, whether it is slavery, whether it is attacks against Native American people, the Irish, the Italians, the Jews, you name it. But what, for the first time, at least in modern history, that we are seeing today, is a president of the United States actually fostering this kind of hatred and this kind of divisiveness. A president who, as soon as he is elected or even before, talks about Mexicans being rapists and criminals, treats the people of Puerto Rico with absolute contempt. So what our job right now in this unprecedented moment in American history is to do everything that we can to bring our people together, whether they're Black or whether they're white, whether they're Latino, Native American, Asian American, gay, straight, native-born, people who have immigrated to this country, no matter who they may be. Our job right now is not only to create a government that works for all of us and not just wealthy special interests, but to create a nation in which we finally end all forms of bigotry. And I know that that's what your organization is about, and I look forward to working with you in the months and years to come to make sure that we are successful in that effort. Thank you all very much.
Congratulations, Theo Ernie. Wait, can I say that? Is that disrespectful? I know AOC, I think Anyways, this is what the National Hispanic Media Coalition is all about. Fighting bigotry, and of course, we invite others to join our cause. That's basically it. I can't believe it's been a whole evening for you guys and about 15 minutes in stilettos for me, and it's the first time since March and I'm in pain. But really, I am so excited I got to be here. I obviously wish we could have done it in person and we could all be squeezing each other and dancing the night away and all the fun stuff, but this will do. I am so thrilled we're having a moment to celebrate each other because we deserve it. And finally, please, please, please don't forget that we are a couple of days away from the most important election in the history of the United States of America. So let's take our obligation seriously and vote. Vote for those of us that can't. Vote for the people you love. Vote because it is a privilege to get to. And vote because this election is going to make history and you want to be on the right side of history. Our democracy is definitely at stake here. So on behalf of the National Hispanic Media Coalition, thank you again for spending time with me this evening. Be well, stay safe, wear your masks, vote, and take care, my friends.